So I think so. What ends at me starting to photograph with a mobile phone was was not so much out of passion, because I had no idea of what photographers are. I had no idea of how costly the cameras that at the end of the day can be. And for me, it was the pure joy. I think that was so the 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 part where I start photographing with a mobile phone is just the very beginning. So I think the phase is much longer where I came to India. So the phase of me starting out with a mobile phone camera and ending up uh, just doing it for pure joy. Uh, and I think what was interesting was I made a like I started using Facebook as a tool at some point, and I remember making this two albums called Photography My Passion. There was title one, and then there was Photography My Passion two, because the first album, like like I couldn't upload more pictures in that one album, and they had like I had to do another. So I realized that if I made so many pictures that it exceeded a limit, like my pictures could not anymore be like it couldn't fit into one album according to Facebook. I had to do another, and it was still about it was just about uh, putting it out there, and friends telling you it's good stuff, and so and so. I was, instead of being inspired by the so-called known photographers back then, I did not do my research. I did not know where I'll end, because I knew that I had eighth, ninth, like I knew I had ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th on my way. Like I thought this was just fun, and I was doing that. And more and so, I think instead of looking at who the photographers are, I was looking at a few senior friends of mine uh, in school. The ones who know who they are, they know it. I would not take names, because then there'll be so many people left out in the process. But uh, they know that at this point, I'm very sure I told it to them more than probably twice in life. Whenever I felt I dipped into nostalgia, I used to text them and tell them that this was you at some point who inspired me to do something like this. So I saw them putting pictures on Facebook, and I did the same. Like I was just following what my seniors did at some point, and I found it very cool that you can look at a place in a certain different way, and you can look at a fountain in a different way. You can look at the road in a different way. So and these seniors of mine in different schools helped me differently. So it was Asian school where I started putting pictures in an album, because I looked up to a senior who never knew that I was influenced by him as such, but I was under the shadow of these so-called cool people in the school, and I was trying to do what they were doing. I always used to look at the people who played sports in a very from a very secretive corner of my life. Like I never tried asking, "Can I play with you?" But I always used to look at them and they play, and I'm going to like I'm going to my class, and I see my other friends or the seniors playing, and I look at them, and I had uh, a certain respect to these people who are making look like life is so much fun. And so I think that is how, like, the number one, me putting pictures in an album, titled Photography My Passion 1 and Photography My Passion 2, uh, got to me going to Indian school. And at some point, I realized that maybe now I need a little bit of a camera. I need to, maybe use something much more advanced than this. And I had to score good grades to get that camera, and I did. Uh, and I think at some point, like, uh, uh, Indian school was like second school was much more supportive of my journey. Uh, no disregard to the previous school, because they made me what I am today. The friends around were the ones who pushed me to a certain extent to what I am today. But uh, they were focused on my academics a lot more than something that I was trying to tell them out loud, that maybe try helping me out here. And Indian school was the place where I think this part of my life was celebrated. Uh, and there again, there was a senior friend of mine who I saw in the farewells when I was in 11th. So I had just 2 years in Indian school, and uh, I'm happy that I was a part of the school. And in those 2 years, I had to, I had this burning rage to do something or the other. I had to, because I think it happens. It so happens to be that the people who come from Asian school, or any, I think it could be from any for any other people who have to shift schools. So uh, when you leave one school and you join another, you want to do something. Because you're a new person, and you suddenly grown up, and now you have a little time to show who you are. And I saw this one fellow in his uniform trying photographing the farewell so well, and I was like mad happy to see this person, because I did not know him until then. I just went up straight up to him, and this was the time when I broke my barrier of trying to talk to somebody and trying to know what it could be. I went to the person, and I asked them, like, how do I become you? Like, I want to do the same thing that you did in the farewell. I want to photograph. So he said, go to the staff room, and there's a person there. You can talk to him. He handles the photographs for the schools, and if he likes your work, show him your work and see what happens. And I think that was the time when I got to just do that, and things worked out so well that I remember taking a portfolio of like wildlife pictures and food photographs and portraits and close-ups and streets, etc., etc., to just show that I'm capable. Like, I want to do this. But he just saw like a few. He just saw a couple of pictures, and he's like, just get your camera from tomorrow to school whenever I ask you to, and you're good to go. So that was the turning point of my life, where I was allowed to bring my camera to school whenever I was given the permission to do so. And the kind of joy that came along was very different, because now it was uh, uh, very nice to know that I could, like, in a group full of people who are just seated in the audience, I can walk midway through and with my camera around my shoulder, and not having to worry about so many books in my bag. Uh, I was called for almost all the events that uh, the school had, be it sports, be it the annual fest, and different things. Uh, I was officially the photographer, and I think at the in the second year we started like making a team of photographers. So that was an interesting part, where like because we had to divide the number of uh, uh, pictures that were supposed to be made for different events. So I told that there is this friend of mine who could do this, and we made a team of juniors and seniors trying to do it together. So then there were like 4 to 5 people were doing the very same in my school, and I was very I was driven. Like, I was I, that felt like, even today, like, despite having all the so-called achievements that the world looks up to, these that achievement of being called a school photographer was way much more, uh, you know uh, making me feel very legitimate about life. Like, this is it.